GIMP is a free and open source image editor, the keyword there being free, well, maybe also open source. Let's see how it compares to Photoshop. I mostly use Photoshop for making thumbnails. Which thumbnail do I want to recreate? I think let's do this one. It has quite a few layers here, some different elements, so it's probably going to be a decent stress test for GIMP. Launch GIMP. Boing. Ooh, look at that background. GIMP stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. Why did it open there in the corner? Personalize. Oh, I can set everything up immediately. Color scheme. Oh, flashbanged. Let's keep it dark. Icon theme, legacy or default. So legacy has just more colors. Okay, let's keep it at default. You can customize icon scaling. Ooh, it seems like there's a bunch of customization here. Look at how massive they are now. With legacy, it looks more fun. Let's make it boring. Font scaling. Let's do 150%. Merge menu and title bar. So these two would become the same. I want to see how that looks like. You have to restart for the following changes to take effect. Okay, boink. Ooh, it's actually now the same title bar, so it takes up less space. I like that. Okay, let's see what's here. There's a big icon here in the middle. I think I can create a new file by going into File, big brain over there, New, and let's do 1280 by 720 pixels. The thumbnail size. Advanced options. I don't think we need any advanced options now. Boom, and we're in. Ooh, the tool definitely looks different. Why is the crosshair not in the middle of the circle? What if I paint? It paints in the middle, but the crosshair is not in the middle. That's definitely weird. Increase the size. Look at that mouse cursor. That's not the default Windows one. Interesting. What if I pick the move tool? No, it doesn't have a cursor. It's just the crosshair. I'm assuming B is for the brush tool. No, it's not. It's for the pen tool. Does it show me the keyboard shortcut if I hover over the tool? P. It's paintbrush, not brush. Wow. So I'm going to have to recalibrate my brain for the keyboard shortcuts. Can I do Alt right click to resize the brush? Oh, what is happening? Oh wait, it did resize it. It's this size blob and now it's this size blob. What is happening when I'm resizing it? What are those blinking things? And what if I drag up or down? No, it still changes the size. Can I change the hardness somehow? Is it Control Alt? Is it just mouse click? Okay, let's just change it here. And there we go. That's the thumbnail. Wait, I can't zoom out with Control. Oh, I can. Okay, so everything seems pretty similar like in Photoshop. How do I switch to the move tool? M. In Photoshop, that's V. Kind of makes more sense to be an M. What is this over here? Hardness. Is this where you change your brush? Why is there a GIMP logo? No way. There's a GIMP logo brush. Oh, and it has different things in its mouth. Okay, now say I decide to make this background completely black. Does Alt backspace work? It did work with white. Oh, maybe there's no background color. There's just one color. Is this not where you choose your color? Oh no, this is the current project and these are the colors. So how do I fill my background with the foreground color? Shift backspace? Alt delete? I need some help. In Photoshop, there's a handy toolbar for help. I don't remember how to actually open it. Oh, it's here, this search bar, where you can look up for things. So fill with background color. And it doesn't show me how to fill with background color. Nevertheless, does a similar thing exist here? Context help. User manual. Ooh, let's just Google this. If you have an existing selection, you can fill it with the foreground color by pressing Control comma. What a weird keyboard shortcut. Control comma. Ooh, okay. Is this a sun brush? What? Wait, there's so many weird brushes here. This is so strange. What is this meant to be? Are these leaves? Can I duplicate the layer with Control J? Oh, that did something else. Duplicate layers. Shift Control D. Okay. For someone who's switching from Photoshop, I would love if there were keyboard shortcuts that were specifically designed for users switching from Photoshop. Are there keyboard shortcut presets? Photoshop? No. Okay. Does X switch my foreground and background color? Ooh, it does. Beautiful. Oh, up here I can toggle between what things I see here. So these are patterns. These are fonts. Wait, how do patterns work? Do I drag them in? Oh, and what if I want to increase the size of the pattern? I think it's just one preset size. If I drag something else in, lightning? Surely this is not where they got the image from for the Op Lightning Strike skin in Counter-Strike. Surely not. Can I right click? Open pattern as image, copy pattern location, show in file manager. So these are quite low resolution and I'm not sure if it's possible to adjust how big this pattern is. Now, while I'm trying to learn how to use GIMP by blindly poking around, there's a much more efficient and fun way to learn skills. That's why I partnered with Skillshare for this video. Recently, I've been wanting to learn a little bit more of Blender to level level up my video production skills, and with classes and learning paths on Skillshare, it has been easy to learn. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. For instance, when I first started learning how to use Adobe Photoshop and how to edit videos with Premiere Pro, Skillshare was incredibly helpful because of their learn by doing approach. There are great classes on DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro for beginners as well. In fact, one of my favorite classes is actually from the same creator, and it's about productivity. In it, I learned a bunch of insanely valuable principles that I continue to implement to this day while making videos and growing my YouTube channel. Spring is a season of fresh starts, so why not refresh your creative routine? As the weather warms, we shake off the winter slump and refocus on our goals. The key to steady progress is building daily habits that support your growth. Whenever I try to learn something new, I usually try to space it out and do it in small chunks, maybe 10 minutes per day, because real progress happens one step at a time. And Skillshare has a variety of classes to help you stay inspired and build your creative momentum. Now, I've also been teaching on Skillshare since 2022. I have a class about creating these cool animations with code and another one about using Google Sheets to track your expenses. So if you'd like to check out any of these classes or what Skillshare has to offer, then you can do so down below. And the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Okay, back to GIMP. One more thing is I would like to make this super tiny so that all the tools here are on the left, just like in Photoshop, so it doesn't take up a bunch of space. Because here in GIMP, I have a lot less space to work with here in the middle. I just did something. If I hold space, I can move my cursor around and it moves the image. That's good to know. In Photoshop, space brings the hand tool and you have to click to move. So far, they're very similar. Let's actually delete these backgrounds. Oh, that didn't delete the layers. Wait, what is this X? Delete selected layers, but how do I do it with my keyboard? Wait, I can only delete like this and not actually by selecting and deleting. Do I always have to click this? Surely not. Press Ctrl X when no selection is active. This will delete the entire active layer. Really? Ctrl X. Does Ctrl N add a new layer? No, that creates a new image. Ctrl Shift N creates a new layer. Okay. And now if I select it, delete doesn't work, but Ctrl X, that's what deletes it. It's definitely weird to be deleting stuff with the cut keyboard shortcut. So let's actually start recreating this thumbnail. First things first, I'm going to need the background color, FFFF6. So is there a way to add a solid color layer here? What if I go into layer? This is how you do it in Affinity Photo. New layer group, stack, mask, transparency. Go to the menu and click layer, new layer. Ooh, so they're the same thing as the new layer. Control Shift N. There's layer name, color tag, mode. Oh, these are blend modes. Okay. Fill with, transparency, foreground, background, middle gray, pattern. What if I want to fill it with some other color? Wait a minute. Select the bucket fill tool. So I just have to fill a new layer with a color. Okay. In Photoshop, I can create a new color layer by going here and choosing solid color so that anytime if I want, I can double click inside of here and change the color, which is quite useful, but we can still do it with the bucket tool. And here say FFF6. Oh, and it doesn't automatically select that color. Enter. Oh, okay. I had to click enter. Boink. So if I select this here, I can lock this layer. Oh, what is this? Lock pixels, lock position and size. Can I select everything automatically? Maybe control click, shift click? No. So locking something will always require 2 clicks. If I lock position and size, I can probably still paint something here. And if I lock these two, I can no longer paint. Not a huge fan of this locking behavior because I'll have to click these 2 buttons every single time. Unless of course I don't know of a way to do it faster. Let's add a new layer. Wait, what's aspect ratio? Why is this in my brush settings? Oh, that's what it does. Just scales the brush horizontally. Okay. Anyway, I just grew a bunch of vegetables on my layer. Let's add a new one. And let's start with the CIA logo. There it is in a nice clean PNG format, but I want to sabotage myself a little bit. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this so that I can try to remove the background from within GIMP. I should be able to just drag it in. Boom. How do I resize? In Photoshop, it's Control T. That's probably not what it's going to be in GIMP. Yep. To activate the unified transform tool, go to Tools, Transform Tools, or press Shift T. So instead of Control T, it's Shift T. And if I drag one of these corners, oh, that's actually an interesting effect. What happens if I overdo it a little bit? Oh, it's gone. Erased from existence. And if I hold Shift, it snaps back. Or does it? Control? Oh, if I hold Control, it does weird stuff. Wait, what am I doing? Now it's resizing like this. Wait, how did I do the weird transform before? What is this? Oh, it slides across the edge. Okay. So if I click here once, it activates this weird mode. And if I click again, it activates the resize mode. That is so weird. What if I hold Shift? No. Control? Oh, if I hold Control, it's not activated. Oh, it's the outer rectangle. So the inner rectangle does this and the outer rectangle does this. That's going to cause a lot of misclicks, I feel like. If you were to have done this in Photoshop, let's actually import the same thing. So if this wasn't a smart object and I sized it down, but then decided that I want to size it back up again, this is what I would get. Perfect. And if I right click and choose Convert to Smart Object, now I can resize it however many times I want without losing quality. Affinity Photo does this differently and it automatically converts layers into smart objects. But what about GIMP? If I size this down and then Shift T to size it back, oh, all the handles also become super tiny. So how do I now grab what I want? There we go. Enter. So it's the same. Good to know. So do I right click and is there a smart object? Scale layer. Interesting. Wait, so is there no way to preserve details when you resize something? This would be horrible. GIMP currently does not have a direct equivalent to Photoshop's smart object. Some users create backup layers of original elements. Wait, no way this isn't a thing. So if I decide to shrink something down, oh, there goes the misclick. Wait, this is horrible user interface. I have to grab the rectangle perfectly, and if I make it super small, how am I meant to resize that? This is how it actually looks like. How do I grab the corner? Oh, there you go. I got it. And there's the CIA logo. This could really be anything. Could be one of the brushes here. If I actually have to save a duplicate of this layer, I can duplicate it with Alt, right? Ooh, I don't think it does. Control C, Control V. Okay, that's not a big problem, but smart objects is a massive problem. So now if I resize the CIA image and then I want to make it maybe slightly bigger in the future, it's going to lose quality, which is absolutely horrible. So let's make it just slightly smaller here. Ooh, when I move something, it shows me where I'm moving it, but the selection stays in place. Is it to show the original position, or is this a weird optimization that doesn't look very good? Regardless, let's Control D deselect. Oh, that duplicated my entire project. So now I want to cut out this CIA logo from the background. One easy way I could do that is by using the lasso tool, but not the freehand one, the shape selection tool. Wait, do those not exist? Surely they exist. I'm looking for this, the elliptical marquee tool, so I can select the logo like this and mask it out. Wait a minute. What's scissor select? Oh, wait, it snaps. So if I add a bunch of points here, it's probably going to guess the circle. Well, that's not the best guess in the world. There's no way I can't select a circle. GIMP has an elliptical selection tool. Go to Tools, Selection Tools, Ellipse Select. Okay, Tools, Selection Tools, Ellipse Select, E. So now I can draw a circle. How do I make it perfect? Shift. Can I hold space bar to move the circle? No, that's not good. In Photoshop, if I start the selection in the wrong place, I can hold space and move it to another spot so I can perfectly select something like this. Oh, I can move the circle itself later. Wait, are these the same moving controls? Yes, they are. How do I pick it up and move the entire thing? Oh, the move tool, of course. Wait, that moves the background. And now that confirmed the selection. What? This is so unintuitive. That draws another circle. How do I now change the place of where this circle is without resizing it weirdly? This is for the corners. This is for the edges. So if I click in the middle, oh, it's just click in the middle. Great. So everything was actually fine. I just didn't know how to move it. Wait, how do I deselect? To deselect in GIMP, you can use the following methods. Windows, press Control-Shift-A. That sounds like select everything keyboard shortcut. So let's draw a circle. Wait, if you hold Shift before you start dragging, it doesn't become a perfect circle. You have to press Shift after you start drawing, so then it becomes perfect. Why doesn't it work before? Oh, just drew another one, and the previous one disappeared. Oh, this is definitely a lot more clunky than in Photoshop. And if I click on the mask icon, add a mask to the layer, white, full opacity, black, selection, add. Boom, there's no more background. Now I'm realizing there's also my mouse cursor here in this screenshot. There's no chance GIMP has selection aware fill tools. Is there content aware fill in GIMP? My brain is so used to Photoshop that I don't even know how it's actually called. Install the Resynthesizer plugin. There's a healing tool, which might be decent for this. I can get it with H. That was the wrong brush. So deselect, Control Shift A, and then just paint over the cursor. Nothing seems to happen. Set a source image first. Wait a minute. Isn't this the healing brush tool? Yes, it's this tool. Why do I need to set the source image? And where do I do that? Oh, Control click to set a new heal source. Oh, it doesn't figure out how to do that from the surroundings of the image. I have to set it manually, so this will definitely not work. Let's try the clone tool. This one definitely needs to be Control clicked. And if I just do this, not really. Set the point over here and Shift click. Oh, that's pretty cool. When I click and then hold Shift, it shows me where it's going to draw the line. So if I click here again, that's the straight line. In Photoshop, you have to guess. It doesn't actually show you where the line will go. That's very nice. So actually, I'm just going to paint over the mouse cursor. Wait, how do I select a color while I have the brush tool? It's Control, and then I can paint like this. There we go. The mouse cursor is no longer there. Beautiful. So now I will have to resize this very carefully to not make it too small. Wait, let's actually make it this big. Oh, this is the anchor point, and it's going to live somewhere there, but I'm going to leave it there and hide it for now. Oh, why are there two? Maybe I click transform and then it becomes that one. That's weird. So I'm going to hide this layer and actually lock this layer so I don't lose it in the future, and I don't want to make it smaller just in case I'll have to make it bigger later to not lose quality. And let's move on to text. Let's say the CIA test. Select it and make the color black. Boom. And here I can choose the font. Beautiful. Oh, it doesn't actually resize the text. It resizes the text box, and I have to do it by increasing the font. Wait a second. But if I do Shift T, does it let me transform this? Oh, yes, it does. Okay. But does it lose quality if I increase the size? Oh, the text becomes pixelated. You have to be kidding me. Or wait, maybe if I transform? Yes, it is pixelated. That's horrible. Here, if I do Control T and resize my text, it doesn't actually become pixelated. It scales nicely via the transform. But here I can't do that, and I think I always have to click in here and adjust the font size, which is just a lot slower. Definitely not a huge fan of this. Oh, and it doesn't remember the font. Wait, does Photoshop remember the font? Yes, it does. So I would have to set the font for every single text or duplicate this layer. Once again, not as efficient. If I resize it, enter, yes, it becomes blurry. Oh, this is not ideal for sure. That's so weird that it shows its original position there. It kind of looks like the program is lagging behind. I'm not used to that. Confirm text editing. The layer you selected is a text layer, but it has been modified using other tools. Editing the layer with the text tool will discard these modifications. What did I do? Is that because I moved the position? Let's bring back the CIA logo and place it next to the text here. And now let's move on to the more difficult part, which is this thing here, rectangles. So is there any shape tool here? Unified transform. Oh, unified transform means it gives me all sorts of transformation controls, but I can do specific ones like scale with Shift S. That makes a lot more sense now. Shift S. Oh, what am I changing the scale of? The background layer. That's just the scale. So now these rectangles don't have weird things inside of them. So I got this completely wrong. Wait, am I recording? I am. Good news. So there's shear, flip, perspective. Let's handle transform. Shift L. You spin me. So this is just the click and do whatever transform. I think this might look good for this thumbnail. Oh, it adds these points. I'll just add a few on the T and then it transforms based on that. Ooh, that could be maybe not so useful as I think now because I'm excited that this exists. What's the difference between perspective and 3D? This is perspective, roger that. And this is 3D. Oh, so it's more flat. Okay, I'm liking this. So I was just using the wrong keyboard shortcut for scale. It's Shift S and I can scale it normally. And then if it becomes smaller, I mean, it's still not the best when it's that small, but I can easily pick it up and drag it. Oh, did my text lose quality because of that? Oh, it did. Look, before, after, before, after. It's slightly worse quality. That is 100% horrible. Okay, where was I? Rectangles. What is this? Measure. Oh, this is not a rectangle. Stop getting distracted. Warp transform. Okay, I need to try this. Oh, this is like the smudge tool. Oh, it's lagging a little bit. I don't see any shape tools. Maybe that's because I'm blind, just like with the rectangle selection. Wait, this is smudge, and that's warp transform. So smudge probably leaves these blurry edges, and this one is just smudge without the blur. Okay, nice to have some options. Rectangles. Activate rectangle select tool. Wait, so there's no shape tool. Use the bucket fill tool to fill the selected area. Ooh. Using the gfig filter. Filters, render, gfig. Oh, there's a new window. so. So do I just paint it on here? Can I move it? Maybe with this tool? What does the mouse cursor thing do? Do I drag to select? No. Wait, what is happening? How do I move this now? Move a single point, move an object. Oh, I have to get it by the point. Okay, so let's just put the rectangle here. What an interesting interface. Oh, we can actually snap to grid. Never mind, that was a horrible idea. So what if I now want to round the corners of this rectangle? Color fill. Let's just make it red for now. Oh, and the stroke is a brush. So I have to set a specific brush for the stroke. You can see that it's white there. If I change it to blue, you'll be able to see it better. And it uses the brush to create the stroke. I mean, that's interesting, but not what I was expecting. And clicking on browse does nothing. So how do I customize this then? Or do I need to set my brush first? So if I set a hard round brush, then decrease the size of it. Now if I set the stroke to blue, it's still insanely thick. Browse. Oh, now it opens. What? So what if I choose this or this? But how do I adjust the thickness of the stroke? Do I have to do it here by adjusting the size here? No, that looks like a perfect square. Can I double click to adjust? No, that brings up the layer properties. So once I insert the rectangle, I don't think I can change it. In Photoshop, you can add a rectangle layer and then it becomes editable later. So if I now pick the rectangle tool, I can change everything about this rectangle. I can make the corners more rounded if I want to. But here it doesn't seem like that's the case. And I need rectangles. Let's do a little more Googling. So it doesn't seem like there's a dedicated shape tool in GIMP. This will definitely introduce a bunch of problems. Let's delete the G-Fig layer. Oh, I tried clicking delete. Rookie mistake. Control X. So I'm going to choose the rectangle select tool, draw the rectangle like this. Oh, but I also need a little stroke. So I want to create this little tiny stroke here around the edges. How do I do that then? One cool trick I just saw in the tutorial, if I yoink this color here, the purple, I can pick it up and drag it to my selection to color it in. That's pretty cool, you have to admit. Can I go to select and expand? Border. Replace the selection by its border. Oh, it adds a little border. Okay, Control Z. That doesn't seem to work for some reason. Maybe I go select border again and let's, instead of 5 pixels, do 1 pixel. Oh, so it added a border around the border. Not the best. Let's try to select this rectangle again. Obviously, I can't now move this selection with the space bar, so I'm stuck with having to guess and then move it from the middle. This could have been done in Photoshop a lot quicker. So let's do border and 1 pixel is fine. If I set this color to complete black and drag it onto the border and then deselect, oh, there's a little tiny 1 pixel border around this rectangle. But now the problem is if I want to make this rectangle bigger or smaller, oh, I did it all on the same layer, which means that this little pixel gap will stay here forever. So let's try to select that as well. By this time, I would have already been done with this thumbnail in Photoshop. Maybe it's just easier to undo the border and do it again. The undo doesn't work. What? I'm not enjoying my GIMP experience. A lot of things seem to be missing from this program. Things that would make this much faster. Now, if I had to round corners here, I have no clue how I would do that without using some sort of a shape tool. Wait, actually, I want to know. Oh, never mind. When I have the selection, I can select rounded corners and then increase the radius. Let's do 12. Okay, I thought I was going to have to delete each corner somehow. It's a good thing this exists. So now fill this with this color, then go into select border and do 2 pixels and then drag black on top of the border. Yep, I know what you're thinking. I should have done 1 pixel. But now if I undo, oh, I can't undo. I have to recreate it again. Yeah, if you make a mistake in GIMP, it's going to cost you a lot of time. Okay, that wasn't great. Now what if I want to create another rectangle on top of this one? I just duplicate this layer, then Shift S for scale and scale it down like this. Obviously the corners are going to get screwed up. Oh, and I need a different color. Yeah, that just looks horrible. You know what? I'll actually just paint a straight line across this. Is there a line tool? There's no way there's a line tool if there's no rectangle tool. And make it black. That's not 1 pixel. Why can't I undo? Okay, let's save this project and open it again maybe. Thumbnail XCF. That's the file extension. Interesting. Oh, I added it on top of the rectangle accidentally. I think it's going to be easier to just recreate the rectangle again. Wait, I need to make it perfect size because then if I resize it, then it's going to screw with the edges as well. It's really bad that this program doesn't have a shape tool, like really bad. In the original, it's almost touching the corners. Now I'm noticing that it's not perfectly centered. I wish I didn't notice that. So I think something like this. Now don't forget to add a new layer and just make a 1 pixel selection. Oh, that's 2 pixels. Unacceptable. Okay, what if I slightly resize this? Does it become 1 pixel at some point? Oh, it disappeared. Okay, that took 70 billion years. In Photoshop, I could have done this in like 30 seconds and it's still not perfect. It's not really 1 pixel. It's a weird blurry line. Wait, can I make the scale of this brush 1? Just click here, go to the end here, hold Shift, Control Shift, yes, and click again. Oh, that was the eraser tool. Oh, P is for paintbrush, of course. And boom, please be a nice 1 pixel line. Oh, it's 2 pixels. Okay, I'm happy with 2 pixels after that. What is this outline here? Is it outlining my layer? Oh, maybe it's the layer that's selected in the layers panel. Oh, yes, it is. Is it possible to disable it? I can already see what I have selected here. You don't really have to show me. Ooh, that's cool. I can rearrange my tools and hide tools if I don't plan to use them. Wait, I just hit both of these and they disappeared. Is it forever? If I hide this and enable it back? Where's the move tool? Uh-oh, do I have to restart GIMP? This was not even the hardest part of this entire thing. The map is probably going to be the hardest. I certainly hope not. There's a little X here. I think I want to try drawing it. When the brush gets too small, I can't see it because of my mouse directional cursor there. Boom, boom, and boom. Wow, that's a crooked X right there. Let's actually use the type tool and add an X like this. Maybe slightly darken the color. Ooh, what if I want to pick a color from this here? Is there a way I can do that? Maybe this? Look at how tiny the picker is. I'm just going to move my mouse somewhere else on the screen. Boom, find the picker. It's right there. Look at how tiny it is. That's what she said. Okay, boom, there's the X. I keep trying to click Control Shift Z for redo, but it's actually Control Y. That just resizes the text box, of course. I need to change the font. See, that selection rectangle looks so weird. Why is it there? The only reason I can think of is to show the original position, but I don't really want to see it if I'm already moving something somewhere else. Oh, I accidentally moved it and look what happened to the X quality. If I undo, look at how sharp the edges are. So it seems like you have to be very careful in GIMP to not accidentally resize anything, or else it will start looking horrible, which is horrible. Oh, I didn't even realize I'm moving this with my middle mouse button. Can I do that in Photoshop? No. Why was that so intuitive? Photoshop should have this. Okay, maybe 50, 70. I wouldn't have to keep guessing the font size if I could just resize this without losing quality. So then T, double click inside of here and guess the font size. Maybe 32? Nope. 64? That looks more like it. Boom. I'm still not sure how to get out of this text selection. If I click enter, it adds enter into my text. Maybe it's escape. Oh, it's escape a few times. Okay. For some reason, I really don't like this box here, the selection. Just makes me want to deselect it even though I can't. It just shows that a layer is currently selected. Oh, look at that. We're going to need another rectangle. Oh, and this bottom rectangle is a slightly different color. This is more purple than this. So we're gonna have to figure out how to do that first. How can I merge these two layers? Merge these layers with the first visible layer below each. Not sure if that's what I want. Oh, it also seems to be merging this, the CIA test. If I redo, yes, but why? I didn't select it. Oh, I have to select this layer and then merge down to merge one below. So now if I pick the paint bucket tool, okay, and hopefully this works. Oh, no problems. Of course, there will definitely be problems if I try to customize this rectangle now, because it's just not customizable. Oh, my opacity was set to 93 the entire time. That's why this line here isn't fully visible. I'm an idiot. Set the size back to 1. Click here once, move to the other side, and click. Boom. Now it's fully black. So let's create another rectangle. Now this, I also want to have a border. Wait, surely clipping masks exist in GIMP, right? Select border, and then black. Move this over slightly. Oh, I'm so used to Photoshop creating a new layer as soon as I insert a shape. I just did it again on the same layer. So let's redo it one more time. Boom. So now say I have a painting here of a butterfly. Oh, I meant a butterfly. Okay, whatever painting. And I want this painting only to apply to my rectangle. How do I do that? I forgot to add a new layer, of course. Anyway, I have this painting here and I want it to only apply to that rectangle below, the white rectangle. Can I do Alt and select in between the two layers to only apply that one there? No. In the layers panel, right click and select new layer group. Drag all the layers you want to clip into this layer group. Wait, this is so many steps. So I want the pixels of this layer to only be visible on the visible pixels of this layer. Drag it into the group. Okay, so what happened? Wait, this is just describing a regular mask. No way there are no clipping masks in GIMP. Like here you can see this map. It's actually just a large screenshot clipped to a rectangle. So if I hide the screenshot, this is just the rectangle underneath. And if I unclip this, this is the screenshot. So essentially if I hold Alt and click in between the two layers, the pixels that will be shown are only the ones where there are pixels visible here in this layer underneath. I need to make sure this actually doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in GIMP? No way. I use this feature every time I open Photoshop. Every time. In a Affinity, it works a little different with the layer positioning, but it's still there. Wow. You have to right click, alpha to selection, then come here to this group and create a regular mask for the group, which is a massive problem because it's not going to be editable later. Now, if I want to increase the size of this rectangle, the size of the clipping mask will not increase with it. Maybe I can select the mask together with the layer and change their size together. Doesn't seem to have worked. Oh, this is actually horrible. Every thumbnail would take twice as long to make without the clipping masks feature. I mean, it's possible to do, but it just takes longer and then it's not easily editable later. In Photoshop, if I want to change the size of this rectangle, the clipping mask changes with it as well. So it shows more of the map or less of the map. And it's really easy to adjust something if I want to adjust something. I can come back to my rectangle tool and maybe round the corners more, and now the map doesn't show over there. And since these rectangles are rectangles, I can select all of them and collectively round corners for all of them if I want. If I wanted to do this in GIMP, I would have to redraw every single rectangle, then fill it in, then draw this line, color this differently. Whoa. Photoshop is definitely much better when it comes to clipping masks or shapes. It's also not free. So let's take a screenshot of this screenshot, and then I'll also need this logo over here to cut it out, and let's import both of them into GIMP. Why doesn't this work anymore? Alpha to selection doesn't select the rectangle. Also, if I want to select something visible in Photoshop, for example, make a selection of this outer rectangle, I can hold Control and click on the thing I want to select. So now this whole thing is selected. I can take the brush tool and paint over it if I want. Also, you'll notice that I immediately added a new layer in Photoshop, and that's because it doesn't let me paint with my brush tool on top of a shape layer. That's why I've been painting over my layers in GIMP, because these are not shapes. Oh, shortcut, Alt click on thumbnail in layers dockable. So if I hold Alt and click on this one, no, why is nothing happening? Okay, let's save, close, and reopen. Oh, now it shows the selection. So now on the map here, I want to create a mask from the selection that would mask out that part. Okay, one question, can I unlink the mask from the layers? So now if I pick my move tool and move the map, it moves with the mask. If I mask out this rectangle in Photoshop, I can click the little link icon, and then whatever I have selected, whether the mask or the layer itself, I can move it without changing where the mask is. And this link icon doesn't seem to be here. No, there's an open issue in GIMP's development tracker that suggests adding the ability to unlink a mask from its layer. I'm so grateful Photoshop exists. You can't do that? A workaround using layer groups. Okay, at least there's a workaround. You know what? Rather than doing the workaround, I'll just undo this and move the map to where I want it to be, something like this, and then I'll make the mask again. That's just going to be faster. So GIMP is really about commitment. If you don't know what you want to do and you want to experiment, well, you're out of luck, because you're going to have to redo everything from scratch if you want to change something. Okay, now obviously there's not going to be an outline here anymore because this rectangle isn't a shape. Wait, maybe I can select it like this, then go into select border and add another border. Yes, and then drag black onto here. Boom, beautiful. It's coming together rather nicely. Now the coffee icon. My hopes are very low for an AI feature that would be able to do this. If I go into select, surely there's no subject. Affinity Photo didn't have it, so probably GIMP doesn't have it as well. Let's use the good old pen tool. That's not the pen tool. How do I control the handle? Control Shift, maybe Shift, no, Alt, Shift, Control. Interesting. I can trace around this shape without doing that, but I would want to know. Oh, I just had to click normally. But one thing in Photoshop, if I use the pen tool and try to cut out this logo, if I place this here somewhere and I actually wanted to place it there, I can hold space and move this point to wherever else. So now I can adjust it like this nicely. I hope this exists in GIMP. Well, actually it's on brand. It's commitment. Once you commit and place a point, there's no going back, unless with Control Z. I'm not liking my pen tool skills right now. Let's just do an elliptical selection. Oh, I can't hold space to move. Surely you can move a selection once you start it. I just don't know how. And now freehand select the tip. That sounded weird. Boom. Now this doesn't really stand out from the background, so I also want to add a shadow. Oh, what is it resizing? Wait, it resized without the mask? Okay, never mind. Let's see how to do that. There's an FX logo. doesn't seem to be clickable. I'm really hoping that once I add the shadow, I'm going to be able to edit it later. Filters, light and shadow, drop shadow. Boom. I don't seem to be seeing any shadows. That's because I'm adding them on the X. Great. I still don't seem to be seeing any shadows. Don't tell me it's covered up by the mask. If I delete the mask, oh, that just deleted everything. If I disable this, wait, the shadow is massive. It's like across the entire thing. I should be able to decrease the blur radius. Let's now hope that when I enable the layer mask, the shadow doesn't stay as this square. No way. This is really bad. I have to apply the layer mask so then I can apply the effects onto the layer. So essentially, if I want to edit the mask later, I won't be able to do that. It's all about commitment, this program. Apply layer mask. Now the shadow is still weird. Oh, now it's good somehow. At least you can control the effects later, so I can move the shadow after I apply it. Okay, so I think that's the thumbnail. Photoshop, GIMP. Photoshop, GIMP. Let's try to export this. Can I resize the file as I'm exporting it? What did it export as? PNG. Okay, I'm sure there's a way to export it as JPEG or something, but there it is. I did manage to recreate the thumbnail, but that took a lot of commitment. So if I had to rank GIMP, Affinity Photo, and Photoshop, GIMP is the only one that's free, by the way. If we're not factoring in the price, then GIMP is definitely the worst, then Affinity Photo, and then Photoshop. There were definitely a few deal breakers with GIMP. No smart objects means that if you resize something and you want to size it back up again, it will lose quality. There's no ability to move the layer without moving the mask with it as well. That's not good. There are no shape tools, so you have to create shapes manually, which just takes a lot of time. There are no clipping masks, which again makes you have to commit. If you don't commit to what you're trying to do and you want to change it later, that's going to be a massive pain. At least the effects are customizable after you apply them. Now, there are a bunch of features that I definitely haven't tried. I didn't do any color adjustments, didn't remove many backgrounds, especially complex backgrounds, just a little circle. So there's much more to this program depending on your use case, but the things I mentioned are kind of a deal breaker for me. Also, I didn't expect there to be, but there's no AI stuff that Photoshop is really good at. And AI in a good way. Photoshop has amazing AI, but if you don't care about the things that I mentioned, then GIMP is a very capable program. I mean, I managed to perfectly recreate the thumbnail. It would just be hard to adjust it later if I wanted to, but I think for now I'll still stick to Photoshop and Affinity Photo. Oh, and if you want to learn how to make YouTube videos, check the description. Okay, bye.